Hello, I am Munir Haq and you are watching Developing Simple Quiz Android App Development tutorial in Kotlin. This is the 10th part video of our Simple Quiz App Development series. In this tutorial, we will learn how to add login using Firebase Auth and Firebase Auth UI. We will give options of signing in using Google and email in our app. Let's see how to do it. Let's first evaluate the scenario. We have a fragment named Title Fragment, which is the starting point of our application. Inside the Title Fragment, we will have a functionality to check whether the user is logged in or not. If the user is not logged in, we will send the user to Login Fragment. If the login is successful, user returns to the Title Fragment. And if the login is not successful, the app will simply be closed. We will use Firebase Auth UI to get the pre-built login UI. So without further talking, let's start coding. So first thing first, we need to add a login fragment, and in our starter code we have a login related XML file. We already have it. It is basically an empty file, design file. So first we will create the fragment, login fragment. So right clicking here and fragment blank, and it will name it login fragment, and we will not use any XML because we already have the XML file. Finish, and as we already have done, we will do the same thing here again. So it will be we will use data binding, and it will be type of, this is the name, the type of fragment login binding. So this will be fragment login binding. Okay, fragment login binding. Okay, and we will remove the code from here. Don't need this line, and inflate our UI here. Binding equals data binding util dot inflate, and inside it we will use the inflator. We will use the inflator and view group. So inflator, and we will use the layout we are using. We are using fragment underscore login. So dot layout dot fragment login, and next we will use the container. This is the view group, and as we don't want to attach it to the view hierarchy, so we will use false. And at last we will return the root of the binding dot root. Okay, so Scully is saying missing. There is something maybe missing. Okay, so far so good. And now we need to add the as we are going to use Firebase Auth and Firebase Auth UI, we need to add some dependencies to use Firebase Auth. So I already have written those UI dependencies here, auth dependencies here. Just simply copy it here. I put those dependencies in this video description. Please copy these dependencies from this video description. So we go here and add, just paste here. So this will add the auth related dependencies, but one thing we need to do, we need to add our project to Firebase. So in order to do it, first we need to go to Firebase Console. This is a console.firebase.google.com, and we will add our project here by clicking add project, and we need to give a name. So it will be simple quiz tutorial, simple quiz tutorial, and we will press continue. We simply just we will not enable any Google Analytics and press create project. So we need to wait couple of minutes in this situation. So our app has been created inside Firebase Console. We press the continue, and here is our app, and here is a get started by adding Firebase to your app. And as our app is Android, we click the Android icon, and here it's requiring Android package name. So we can get the package name from build.gradle, and here's our package name. Just simply copy it and paste it here. And we also need app nickname, so we give a nickname. And this is optional. Debug signing certificate, we can give it from here. We go to the Android Studio, and on the rightmost tab we press the Gradle, and we press the app tasks Android, and we double click the signing report. We double click it, and from the console we can see the Android debug key, and the key here is A1. We copy it and press it here and press the register app. Okay, now it's saying that it's asking to download a config file. We just press here and download the file. Okay, and go to the folder file location, simply copy it and go back to our Android Studio, and from the left panel, here it is selected as Android. We will select as project, and we expand our application, and here is we got the app directory, and we will paste our this file. We'll paste this file to app folder. So Control V, paste, and we rename it to Google services.json, and okay. And after it, we return to our Android view. Also we will change our build perspective to app. Okay, and we also do not need the signing report console anymore, and Gradle. Okay, so all things are said, but one thing is left, and here is we press the next, and to add some dependencies. There are some dependencies related to Firebase, so we simply copy it and go to the there are two build.gradle file. One is a project, one is for project and one is for module. So we will copy this line to build.gradle project file and press and paste it beneath here. And also we will app level, at the app level build.gradle, we will copy it and paste it on build.gradle here and simply sync now. Yes. So our syncing is successful and all those dependencies have been added to our project. Now we go back to our Firebase console and press next and continue to console. One thing we need to do, we need to define our authentication providers. So press it, authentication, and sign-in method. We need to define a sign-in method. For the simplicity of our project, we will only add email and password. We make it enable, and we will also add Google login. So there are two types of login. One is Google and one is email password. For it is asking for a project support mail, and I am, in my case, I give my email address here and say okay. So far all things are done in our Firebase console. We go back to our Android Studio project and we will select the login fragment, and here inside the login fragment we will start the activity for Firebase Auth UI. So how can I do it? So first thing first, we will create a function first. So the function, and it will be create UI, and inside the function we will define some login providers. So name will be val providers, and it will be array list of okay, it's requiring a type. So type will be auth UI dot idp, auth UI alternator dot idp config. Okay, and inside it we will add our providers. So our providers are basically Google provider, Google builder, and email builder. So auth UI dot idp config dot Google builder dot build, and another one is email builder, same thing. By the way, if you want to add more builders, more options for signing in, like Facebook and phone authentication, please watch my video. I have a complete video on Firebase authentication, where I have shown different kinds of signing options like Facebook, Google, email, and phone. So please watch the video. So next thing we need to do that starting an activity to get the pre-built UI of Firebase. So how can I do it? We can add start activity for result, and inside it we will create the intent of auth UI first, and this intent is a builder class. So we can add it auth UI dot get instance, and we create sign in intent builder, and next we will add set available providers, set available providers, and the providers will be these providers. So providers, which is a list, and then we need to add some pretty things like we can add theme. We already had a theme that comes with the starter project in res. We can see it. You can res values and styles. I have already made the UI login UI style, so we can use the login UI style here. Dot set theme, and the theme will be r dot style dot login UI style, and we can also add a logo, like we already have a logo. So set logo r dot drawable dot auth logo. Okay, and finally we will call the build function. Okay, the stat activity for result, it will also requires a constant value as a request code. We already, if you know the stat activity for result, a stat activity for result requires a constant value as a request code. So we can create the request code like a companion object. So companion object, and it will be private val, and you can rc sign. It will be, by the way, if you don't know what companion object is, it is very similar to Java's static method or a static variable. As in Kotlin, we cannot use the static keyword. We use the companion object. Not a big deal. Okay, so we use the request code to sign in. Now we will add the stat activity for we want to catch the result. So for catch the result, we will use on activity result. So on activity result. Okay, and first, we inside the on activity result, we will add we will check the request code for that the same request code, is it using the same request code or not. So if request code, this request code is equals request code equals rc sign, we will catch a response here, the val response, and the response will be response from the intent, result from the intent. So idp config dot from UI, no, it will be, sorry, excuse me, it will be idp response dot from result intent, and result intent will be, the result will be the data intent. So data. Okay, and we will check the result. Okay, if the result is okay, we will navigate back to our title fragment. So if result code equals activity dot result okay, so if the result is okay, we will get back to our title fragment. So this means our activity, our login is successful, and after a successful login we want to get back to our return to our title fragment. So how can I return go back to title fragment? We will simply use the navigation. So we go back to our navigation graph, navigation, app navigation, and here we will add our login fragment first. So login fragment, and we place it here. Now we will simply go from login fragment to title fragment. Just click it here and go back to here. Okay, now, and we will also give a clean project. Press the clean project. We go back to our login fragment, and here after a successful login we want to navigate to our title fragment. So here is our if clause, and we press the if the result is okay, then we go back to our title fragment. So navigation dot find nav controller, and here we will press the view and press and give the not null assertion operator. So this view is the fragments view, the view we are using. So this is the view, and dot navigate r dot id dot action login fragment to title fragment. Okay, and if our navigation is our login is failed somehow, we will also handle that situation also. So else it will be if any kind of, we do not need that. Okay, if response equals null, then it will be the active, we will close the activity, we will finish the activity. So the activity dot finish affinity. So if the login is failed for some reason, it will we will simply close our activity and as a sequence the app itself, and we will go to the return. Okay, so far we have added the create UI here, but inside we need to call the create UI. So we will call the create UI inside our activity created function. So it will be on activity created, we will call the create UI. So far so good, but we need to do one more thing. We need to go back to our title fragment. We need to go back to our title fragment and check whether the user is logged in or not. We need to check this functionality first. So in order to do that, we go back to our title fragment, and here we will create a variable. So while user equals Firebase auth dot get instance dot current user. So if the user, when this login is successful, a global object Firebase auth, the name of the global object is Firebase auth, is initiated by get instance. So we can simply get the user by using this line Firebase Auth.get instance dot current user. So we will check whether it will whether the user is logged in or not. So we inside our on activity created, we don't have the on activity created class function already, so we created on activity created, which is a lifecycle method of fragment. So inside it we will check if user equals null. Okay, we need to go back to our login activity. So how can I do it? We will again go to our app navigation, and from the title fragment we will go to the title fragment. So from title fragment we will go to the login fragment, and we will give a build we will give a clean project. So we place the clean project and go back to our title fragment, and inside it we will write navigation dot find nav controller, and it will be a view not null assertion operator dot navigate r dot id dot, this time it will be action title fragment to login fragment. So title fragment to login fragment. Okay, now we can run our project and see what happens. So we open our project, and as the first time it is not logged in, the login screen appears. So we press the sign in with Google, and select my email address, and the progress bar is showing the progress bar. We need to wait a couple of seconds, and we have been successfully logged in. But so we can see we're logged in, and if we go to the profile, it's not, we are actually logged in, but it's not showing our name and email and my score. And if I press the logged out, it is not working. So we need to add this functionality. First thing we want to do, if the user click the logout button, the user will be logged out and we will take the user to login fragment. So first we will add the listener for this logout button, like binding dot btn logout dot set on click listener. By the way, this logout button is the logout button here, this button. Okay, so going back to the user profile fragment, and here we will first log out the user. So we can do it like auth UI dot get instance dot sign out, and the sign out needs a context. The context will be activity, the activity and application context. Activity, it will be not null, and application context, and it will be not null assertion operator. Okay, and if it is logged out, then we will generate another method, which is add on success listener. So add on success listener, and inside this add on success listener we will navigate the user back to login fragment. Now if we will go to the app navigation.xml, and we previously did it. Okay, now the user profile fragment, and if when the user is logging out, we will take the user to login fragment. But we already have a functionality that inside the title fragment that if the user is not already logged in, it will the user will be sent back to login fragment. So we will simply send the user to title fragment, and eventually from the title fragment it will go to the login fragment. So we will create an action here and give a clean build clean project, and when the project is running on, we go back to the user profile fragment, and here inside the add on success listener we will navigate back to our title fragment. So navigation dot find nav controller, and it will be view and dot navigate dot id dot, it will be user profile fragment to title fragment. Okay, and that's it. So if we run the project from our app, if I go to the profile fragment, user profile fragment, and press the logout, the user is logged out, and another above, and the user is sent back to login fragment. And if we want to log in, and everything is, I think, working fine. So logout button is working fine. We need, the remaining task is we need to provide the name and email and the circular image here. So for name and email and phone number, we will use two-way, not two-way, the data binding. So we go back to our user profile fragment, and here we go to the layout fragment user profile, right click control, we will click control and left mouse click, and go to our layout file, and here we will create a data block. Name is data and inside the data block we will create a variable, and name of the variable will be user profile, and the type will be our user profile fragment. Okay, so user profile fragment. Okay, now we will use this variable and bind it to our user profile fragment. So it will be like this. Before returning, it will be binding dot user profile. This user profile, by the way, is this variable. Okay, and it will refer to this fragment. So this. Now we can easily get the user data and show it inside our user profile fragment. Like if we want to show the name, so the name will be text, it will be, we'll say give the name, so it will be user profile this variable, and user profile dot user, and by the way user is user profile dot user is, okay, here I didn't mention the user yet, so it will be let init, no, not let init, it will be val user will be Firebase auth dot get instance dot the current user. Okay, so we will refer this user in our XML file, so it will be dot that user, and it has some property like display name, email and phone number. In this case we will use the display name, and for email we will do the same thing. And for phone number again we will do the same thing if the phone number is available. So user profile dot user dot phone number. Okay, so all things are done, and if we run the project again, so from our project, if we go to the user profile fragment, we can see the my name, this and my email number. But one thing is still we haven't done that. We need to change the image here. So to set the image we will use a library named Glide, which is a very useful library. So to use Glide we need to add the dependencies of Glide. So I already have written down the dependencies, so simply copy it and paste it inside our app.gradle. Okay, inside here. By the way, I have given the dependencies inside our video description link. Please download please copy and paste the dependencies from there, and we press the sync now. Project has been synced successfully. We go back to the user profile fragment, and here we will override a lifecycle method named on activity created, which is a lifecycle method of fragment. And inside the on activity created we will change the user image or profile image with help of Glide. So how can I do it? You can say user, and we apply the late block here, and here we will use dot load and load the user. Sorry, we need to do Glide. We need to use first Glide. So Glide dot width, and it need a context, so it context will be this, the fragment itself, and dot load we need to provide the URI. So user, we already have the URI, user dot photo URL. This is the photo URL. Okay, user dot photo URL, and we will made a little we'll make the image little centerized. So fit center and placeholder, dot placeholder r dot drawable dot this will be, let me check, user profile, and this is the image, and this is the placeholder. So simply copy and paste it here, and also into our image view. So into again we check into user image. Okay, simply copy paste it, user image. Okay, into user image. Okay, now if I run the run our application again, so from our application we go to the user profile fragment, and now we can see that our image has been loaded. This is our profile image, and this is my name, and this is my email address. So everything is working fine so far. In this tutorial I have shown you how to add Firebase Auth and how to update user profile using the Firebase Auth. So if you like the video, please press the like button, and if you already have not subscribed yet, please subscribe, because more and more interesting topics are coming. And signing off, thank you for the video, thank you for watching.